check out what sassy Judge Rinder had to say at number 9.
I'm getting into my laughing pose. Moron!
There it is. Getting serious at number 8, I'm fully behind this judge losing it. We have the judge that freaked out at a defendant not being given pants to wear in court. So I totally get this judge's reaction, and to be honest, she did the right thing. A black woman was brought into custody in Kentucky and sent to court with no trousers on. The judge is absolutely disgusted at the way jail officers treated the woman, who was also denied feminine hygiene products. She asks,
This is outrageous. Is this for real? Been in our jail for 3 days, and it reports to me that the jail has refused to give her pants and feminine hygiene products.
You can hear from the judge's voice that she is livid, but she keeps it together very well. Now she surmises her feelings expertly here.
Am I in the Twilight Zone? What is happening?
The judge is so enraged at the way the woman has been treated that she changes her sentence to be more lenient. The woman's rant went viral and made global news. So what happens when a judge and a defense lawyer clash? Well, things get pretty awkward at number 7. Judge John Hurley lashed out at a lawyer defending a homeless man. The problem is that the lawyer and the judge seem to have a history of some kind, and the whole exchange is no longer about the homeless man facing flack and possession charges. Instead, it all becomes a bit of a sass-off between the two men. Judge Hurley first says,
"Your unprofessionalism and your smart aleck, sir, don't even try. You need to pick up your professionalism. You're taking a shot at the court. It's unprofessional."
Then his rant continues.
"You need to stop doing this. I don't know what else to do. I've admonished you. I know that someone in your office has admonished you."
In the end, the judge says he doesn't want to hear another word, and I don't want to hear it either, guys, just take it outside the courtroom. Just don't let a judge lie at number 6. Judge Frederick Schott dramatically threw out a jury's guilty verdict of a DUI case and went off at the prosecution. The judge was livid at the sheriff's department for not properly testing the allegedly drunk driver and accused the officer handling the case of being a liar. He kicks off saying he is dismissing the charge despite heavy protests from the jury. His outburst made the news, and he maintained the whole case was very, very fishy. Judge Marilyn Milan had some things to say at the People's Court coming up next at number 5. Firstly, don't ever try and mansplain to Marilyn because she has this to say to you.
Counselor, I am directing these proceedings.
Oh, and also don't even try and lecture her about respect because...
Dr. McCaffrey, Your Honor, it creates a tone of respect.
Where I'm from, you sort of got to earn that.
Ho ho ho! No. Then finally, when she was done with this smarmy chap, she totally loses it. Here we go, check this out.
Watch yourself,
Okay.
Your Honor.
Get out of my courtroom! Get out!
A pleasure.
Out! Douglas,
If Douglas touches
Ouch!
me, you will not be happy, Your Honor.
you know what? If Douglas beats you to a pulp, I'll be delighted. Get out!
Oh, Marilyn, you tell them, honey. Losing it isn't always about screaming at someone. Sometimes to lose it is to laugh uncontrollably in an inappropriate situation, like for example in a courtroom. This is exactly what happened with Judge Judy at number 4. Judy has pretty much seen it all at this point, let's face it. She cackled with laughter when a man seemed to want money for a car. Here she goes. Guess he's not getting that new car then. Judy, you've lost it. Laughing is one thing, but I've never seen a judge lose it by breaking down and crying and hugging two defendants, but that's what's coming into number 3. Is this an American thing? Like British judges don't tend to show much emotion? I feel like honestly, the less emotion the better when it comes to sentencing someone. Well, actually, this is not the case of Judge Marblean. She broke down on her show when speaking to a mother and daughter. It seems the pair reminded her of her own relationship with her family. Now towards the end, as things start getting more emotional, she starts to cry. She grabs a tissue and then she actually gets out from behind the dock to go and hug the women. This judge freaked out after getting flipped off at number 2. So this is why you do not get sassy with a judge. They got the power. A Miami woman was charged with possession of Xanax, and when the judge set her bail at $5,000 and dismissed her, she sassily said, "Adios." The judge then called her back and doubled the bail. It's pretty beautiful.
Count one would be 10,000.
Are you serious?
I am serious. Adios.
The delinquent woman then flipped the judge the bird and said F you. Yeah, this is not what you want to do to a judge, because the judge then called her back again and had this to say.
Did you say me?
Actually,
Did you say that?
Yes, sir. I did.
Oh, you did say that?
I'm not
I find you in
denying.
direct criminal contempt. 30 days in the county jail.
Okay, that's
A lot of people found the punishment to be harsh, but that is what happens when you pee off a judge. Just don't do it. CNN reported on the case, and the clip they uploaded to YouTube has had 9 million views. Finally, this is the most dramatic judge meltdown I have ever seen. We have the I hope you die in prison outburst. A judge lost it at a woman who killed her boyfriend. While standing in the dock, the 31-year-old killer was receiving her sentence for murdering her boyfriend in cold blood at their apartment in Jackson. The judge, John McBain, said, "You gutted him like a fish, you were relentless." He also had this to say.
You stab, you stab, you stab, you stab, you stab until he was dead.
He then shockingly told killer Miss Gambit to shut her mouth or we would have to duct tape it. He then said,
I agree with the family. I hope you die in prison as well. You know, if this was a death penalty state, you'd be getting the chair.
ooh, wow, Jesus, it's pretty intense. She was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole, and wow. At number 10, we have Judge Milan. Judge Milan was fiery from the very beginning in this clip from the People's Court. The judge is kinda cagey to both the plaintiff and the defendant, accusing the defendant of lying. The sassy judge loses it when the defendant kicks her swinging court door. To be honest, I don't really know what's going on, but this was her reaction.
Kick my car too! Who's gonna pay for the car?
Oh, you know what? You just kicked my door. Never mind, I changed my mind.
Yeah, please.
Actually,
That's exactly the way.
My favorite part was where she absolutely loses it though. It has to be this bit.
the heck out of my courtroom now. Out! Out!
I told you he was gonna get locked up here. Guys,
Oh, Lord above.
thank you very much, Your Honor.
Therefore, I find in your face.
She ends the tirade by saying, "Oh Lord," and she bangs her hammer and sighs. The episode aired in September 2017 and was quite the talking point. Another lady judge who had zero chill, we have Judge Merrilee Ehrlich at number 9. In April 2018, Florida Judge Merrilee Ehrlich snapped. She snapped so hard in the face of a sick woman, she lost her job. Sandra Twiggs appeared in court on domestic violence charges and was suffering from chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Ehrlich had no time for her sickness, and when the woman complained of needing breathing treatment, the judge responded, "I'm not here to talk about your breathing treatment." When Ehrlich released Twiggs, she said, "You have to arrange for someone to carry you if you cannot get out of here yourself." Many people agree that she was totally unprofessional and very unnecessary. A video of the judge's behavior was made public, and in it we see her outbursts. Twiggs was reportedly very distressed about the way she was treated. She died in her sleep a few days later. Broward Chief Administrative Judge Jack Tutter said Judge Ehrlich won't return to the courthouse due to her conduct. He said that she would retire over the summer. Coming in at number 8, we have Magistrate Jennifer Betts. Jennifer Betts is pretty well known in Sydney for her fierce courtroom antics. The magistrate was on the job for 17 years, but one of her cases brought her rude behaviour to light. Betts was presiding over a case in which an 18-year-old girl, Amy Cooper, was caught speeding. When the teenager was trying to explain what happened, Betts reportedly said, "Shut your mouth." She said, "Shut your mouth because I don't think it's going to do any good. Shut up, please. I'm going to talk to you now and you listen hard." Miss Cooper's lawyer said that Judge Betts' conduct could only and fairly be described as domineering and bullying behaviour. When reprimanded, Jennifer said that the trials of life put her under too much pressure and she was very depressed. Her outburst wasn't caught on camera, but her own trial was. Coming in at number 7, we have Judge John Cowlen. Being a judge must actually be pretty hard sometimes. Not everyone you meet will be an unscrupulous character, but some of the people that come through your door are likely to be very challenging. That's, I guess, to put it nicely as well. Irish Judge John Cowlen of Nass District in Kildare had zero chill when it came to hearing a case about a defendant who drove without a license. Sean Byrne was already a repeat offender with 14 previous convictions. The man drove a tractor as part of his job and foolishly was driving uninsured. Byrne's defense solicitor described the man as hard-working and a responsible father, but Judge Cowlen simply responded, "He's a gobshite," and that's the nicest thing I can say about him. The so-called gobshite was handed a 6-year driving ban and a fine of €500. I kind of find it pretty funny. Coming in at number 6, we have Judge Ralph Erickson. Judge Ralph Erickson got scolded by a state Supreme Court in Florida for years of bullish and unprofessional behavior. In his reprimanding, it was voiced that Judge Erickson penalizes people for not understanding how court works, and he was improperly jailing people who failed on their court cost payments. The Supreme Court reprimanded him for his unduly rigid processes and accused him of making it too hard for domestic violence victims to seek protection. In the hearing, the Supreme Court showed a clip of one of his outbursts in 2006. You can watch it.
He has a hard time hearing you.
Have you heard what I said so far?
It was that exchange that started all this in 2006.
He just doesn't seem like a very nice guy. Coming into number 5, we have Judge Jerry Collins. Judge Jerry Collins was a real piece of work. She was nasty, and I mean really nasty, to a domestic abuse victim, which basically is not what a domestic abuse victim needs. The shocking events transpired in 2015 when Judge Collins berated a woman who didn't make it to a court hearing because of the anxiety and depression she suffered since parting with her attacker. The judge ignores the woman's tears and holds her in contempt of court. She jails her for 3 days. A video of the tirade was posted on YouTube, and it's actually pretty sad to watch. It's been seen over 130,000 times, and the comments section is not forgiving to the judge. This is one of the worst bits for me.
My anxiety, and
You think you're gonna have anxiety now? You haven't even seen anxiety.
And then we have this.
Please.
You should have showed up and you should have showed up.
I have a 1-year-old son and I'm trying to take care of him by myself. I'm begging you, please don't. Please.
I've already issued my order.
This was just actually really heartbreaking to watch. The girl pleads that she has a 1-year-old son to look after, and the judge just doesn't seem to care. After the footage was shared, Judge Collins found herself at the mercy of the Florida Supreme Court, who told her that she violated the state's code of judicial conduct. Chief Justice George Labarger said Collins berated and belittled a victim of domestic violence. He said, "I cannot emphasize how intolerable your behavior was in this case." Now, the only punishment that the judge received was being publicly reprimanded. Coming in at number 4, we have Judge Quina Lillard. I don't actually really feel like this judge unduly lost it. I would be really angry if someone was laughing during a death trial too. Judge Quina Lillard had 2 people removed from court for speaking and laughing before Amanda Kosel was sentenced for a DUI that killed a 31-year-old man. While the defendant was somber, her friends and family at the hearing were causing chaos and drama when they were being disruptive, and Judge Lillard was having absolutely none of it, and you know what? Good on her. She already threw out one member of the gallery and was discussing how appalling it was that anyone could laugh and smile when a person had died. She then had to throw out another woman, and she said,
"Was sitting there smiling and laughing. Yeah, you can go too."
She then had the woman arrested and thrown in jail for 93 days, which is 3 months. She implored the rest of the courtroom to try it. Coming in at number 3, we have Judge Jay Hurley. Judge John J. Hurley had absolutely no time for this defense attorney's line of argument. The Fort Lauderdale judge accused public defender Dale Miller of poisoning a case when he suggested that race was the main motivation for a 26-year-old man to hide under a dock wearing a gun holster. In the 2015 trial, Miller said, "Your Honor, in light of what's happening in this country with unarmed black men being killed by police, him running from shots being fired is very reasonable." This was Hurley's initial response.
Look, that is not appropriate in this case. That's not there. I'm not going to let you poison this case with bringing in something that has nothing to do with it.
He then sets the bond at $100,000 on 2 counts. He gets so heated that he then says he needs to take a break. Coming in at number 2, we have Noel Cannon, who said that she would castrate a police officer. Chill out, Noel. This is kind of hilarious on some levels, I have to admit. This judge was pretty spirited in the 70s, and it landed her in hot water. Judge Noel Cannon was rather sexistly nicknamed the miniskirt judge because it was the 70s and successful females scared men way more than they do now, so they had to constantly allude to the fact that she was a woman before they'd let her do her job. Anyway, Judge Cannon was on her way to court and was running late when she was beeping at traffic. Her beeping got her pulled over by a police officer who said, "You know what, honey, stop honking." When she eventually arrived at court, she said to the bailiff, "God damn, get that son of a here, find that bastard. I'm not gonna start court until that son of a bitch is here. She then threatened the police officer, saying, when I find him, I'm gonna cut off his balls and hang them over my bench. I'm gonna castrate him. I'm gonna give him a vasectomy with a 38. As much as I'm sure we can all enjoy her spirit, her outburst was somewhat inappropriate. The police officer found out about it and it led to all kinds of trouble. She was suspended. It seems that this judge was also prone to bringing her pet chihuahua to court and sometimes a mechanical canary. What? Finally, at number 1, we have this very, very famous vulgar exchange. This is a very strange case indeed, and one that was even parodied in Rick and Morty. In June 2016, a Superior Court judge in Rome, Georgia absolutely lost it at a defendant who threatened him. Denver Fenton Allen threatened to kill Judge Durham's family. The defendant, who was already serving time for a previous conviction, stood accused of beating his fellow inmate to death in Floyd County Jail in 2015. Allen said to Judge Durham, "I'll cut your children up into pieces. I'll knock their brains out with a effing hammer. I'll feed them to you." He kept going. He said, "The babies will be going, 'Daddy, Daddy, help me.'" This is just very, very grim. When the judge found the defendant guilty of contempt of court, Allen said that he didn't care. The judge then sentenced him to another 20 days for contempt if he said anything else. Of course, he told the judge to F off, and the whole thing snowballed until basically Judge Durham had given him an extra 20 years in jail. The judge seemed to lose it at Allen when he said, "You know, you look like a queer. I know all the inmates love you to death. I'll bet everyone's enjoying effing your glass." Except he didn't say glass, did he? It was obviously quite inappropriate for a judge to say, and I know that he'd been threatened, but he couldn't get away with that. The court transcript is actually quite the read. Judge Durham was criticised for his behaviour, although he was not severely punished.
Alright, starting off this list off, in at number 10.
We're here, honey. You're okay. You're okay.
I mean, the whole thing is pretty brutal, and I know a lot of like these reactions, you were gonna be laughing or just smiling about it, but these are guys that committed murders and all these horrible things. But I understand a life is being taken away, and this mother or spouse or daughter or somebody is reacting, and yeah, they're gonna freak out, but you've committed the crime, so he's gotta go do the time.
Oh, that rhymed,
Was that
officer.
good?
That was good.
They call me Officer Smooth.
Oh, no.
Was that bad? Oh man, I killed it right there. And just letting you guys know, we're not dressing for fun. It's Halloween at the studio, so we're gonna be dressing up in every video, or as many of them as we can.
Yeah, cause it's spooky season. But in that video, I just like how he kind of like football.
Yeah, I don't know what was wrong with that guy.
Like, it's because
he crabbed his way out of there.
He didn't want to leave, so he just like was dead weight, and the officers had to carry him out.
I would do that too, but my life is gone. I'm not controlling this body anymore.
Oh, it's like, take me.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. In our 9th spot, we have Melissa Hardwick. All right, so this next video takes us to a courtroom where a woman named Melissa Hardwick was accused of domestic violence. But as her husband is talking, she cuts him off and tells the judge that her personal life is not her business.
Personal, up until that point. She got out of jail in April, and she started.
My personal life is none of your business, John. It has nothing to do with Miss Hardwick. No.
Things escalate. The judge tells her to basically zip her lip or she'll be held in contempt. But Melissa doesn't listen to her.
If you become disruptive. I don't care. I haven't done anything to this court. I haven't done anything to him.
She'll be arrested for contempt of court.
It doesn't make any difference.
You will serve 10 days for contempt of court.
Uh-oh, bet she's not gonna like that.
Go now.
Get off of me!
And I was right. But did anyone else notice how the officer just like picked her up and like slammed her down WWE style? Damn, points for him. That's a knockout.
And next up at number 8.
As such, the court finds it appropriate that each be sentenced to the State Department of Corrections for a period of life. You will get credit for any of the time that you've served. That will be
I'd do that too if I was sentenced to life.
Who's the one that's screaming?
Both of the girls that got sentenced.
They just fell on the ground?
They just dropped to the floor and they're like, ah!
Damn.
Oh, I shouldn't be laughing. That really sucks.
I don't like if I killed someone.
We don't know what they did.
But would I freak out? Yeah, I mean maybe. I'd probably be screaming my head off too.
You kind of expect it if you commit a crime. Like, hello, what did you expect?
Are they shocked? You think like life? I was thinking like 3 years.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. They're probably like, okay, maybe like 5 years or something, not life.
They're just
wow.
freaking out.
She's hiding underneath the table. They had to wheel her. Oh my gosh. It's so sad.
Is she saying come here or air? You need air. What was that? There was like someone yelling air.
Yeah, I think it was their mom telling them to. I don't even know.
Yeah, brutal. So they both committed the crime.
Yeah.
Maybe they're siblings. Maybe.
Little crime spree duo. Who knows?
The tag team killers. The duo stalkers. Oh, that's the mom.
That's the mom. That must be so heartbreaking. But all the people on the side, they're like, what's going on here? They're like screaming on the floor. The mother's getting dragged out and everyone else is like, what's going on?
See, that's who I feel bad for. Like, there's no laughing there. Like, a parent having to go through that, like, your daughter or whoever committed a crime, and you're at their sentencing, and you just found out they're because of their decision, they're gone for life. It's tough.
That's hard. In our 7th spot, we have...
Okay, so we've got the suspect eval. Yes, you are.
Let me go. I got kids and responsibilities. Let me go. Let me go. Let me go.
Oh my gosh. Her shoe went flying and she was like wrapping her legs around his neck. And
I could see a John Cena moment there. Like, how did she get upside down in the air like that?
I don't know. All of a sudden it just like switched and she's upside down on his back. Wow.
Things escalated pretty damn fast. She sounded like an intelligent lady at first, right?
I have responsibilities. I have children. Like, let the lady go if she didn't kill anyone.
Like, go free? Like,
yeah, but still.
Imagine you were a judge. That's tough.
I don't think she deserved to get picked up and like flung around.
Yeah, I don't know.
In our 6th spot, we have Donald Byrd. This is another one that just breaks my heart. In 2012, Kewan Byrd was shot 4 times in the back by a man named Lucas Kendall. In a desperate attempt to get away from Kendall, he crawled under his truck, but sadly he couldn't escape and died. The friend he was with was left paralyzed. In this video, Byrd's father, Donald, breaks down in court.
You don't need to be laying no mental hospital. He need to go to prison, man. Come on, sir. He want to play crazy. He wasn't crazy when he murdered my son, man. He wasn't crazy then, but he crazy now.
This one just breaks my heart. You can see how much pain he's in. Donald continues yelling at Kendall, saying he needs to get locked away, and that he violently murdered his son for no reason.
While his back was under the truck, you kept shooting him, man. You kept shooting him in his back. His back was turned to you, man. He was trying to get away from you.
And now, in at our 5th spot on this list, we have Randall Margraves. And back in 2015, news broke that young women who were a part of the USA gymnastics team were being taken advantage of by gym owners, coaches, and staff. This was huge news. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of it. Well, one of the famous people that came out of this was Larry Nassar. Larry is said to have taken advantage of at least 250 young women since 1992. Is this real life right now? Absolutely disgusting. Well, during one of his trials, Randall Margraves and his 3 daughters, all victims of Larry, were there to testify. After 2 of his daughters delivered their statements against Larry, Margraves stood up and asked if he can speak a few words.
I ask you to, as part of this sentencing, to grant me 5 minutes in a locked room with this demon.
He asked for 5 minutes to be alone with him. Well, the judge said no, and that's when he decides to take matters into his own hands.
No, sir, I can't.
Would you give me 1 minute?
You know that I can't do that. That's not how our legal...
I mean, this man took advantage of all 3 of his daughters. Imagine the pain that they're all going through. Not the pain now, it's going to be the pain for the rest of their lives. You can see how badly that this guy, he wants to make Larry pay for his actions, and I just feel horrible.
Give me 1 minute with that.
Moving along to number 4, let's see what we have.
Charges sentence you to 20 years in state prison.
I think the backstory, I think she's young.
Yeah, she's really young.
Like she's like
I think it was carjacking.
Oh my god. See, I feel kind of bad. If you're not like a murderer, like you stole a car, but 20 years, is that too long?
That's way too long.
And drugs. Like I know a famous story, Kim Kardashian is trying to get these people that are sentenced for drugs and stuff. Or those people that were away for like 20 years for weed. And now I think it was Obama that pardoned a lot of people. I think Trump pardoned a lot of people. But sometimes the crimes are the sentencing is
the amount
too
she
long.
got though, that's insane.
20 years.
That's
I would
wrong.
if that was my daughter and she stole a car, like you made a mistake at 17, 18 and now you're out when you're 40 years old.
Well, that's gonna impact you like
the rest of your life,
yeah.
Well, for you guys watching, let us know, like, are these sentencing too harsh? Like, how long is carjacking? Like, it's hard to make those decisions. Hard to be a judge. It's hard enough to be an officer every day.
Reporting for duty every day. In our third spot, we got...
He kicked my car. He kicked my car, too. Who's going to pay for the car?
Oh, you know what? He just kicked my door. Never mind, I changed my mind.
Yeah, please.
Actually, because...
That's exactly the way it happened.
That's exactly the way it happened. And so you go take care of your man, and I hope you're going to be okay. And forget it, because I changed my mind. He doesn't get $200.
Wait, the court thing, all that for those $200?
No, it was more than that.
You went to court for $200?
No, it was more than that. He kicked the old man Smithers' car, the guy with the mustache. He kicked his car, and so he was like getting like an amount, and the judge was like, okay, well, you don't have to pay $200, and now he has to pay it or whatever. It's $200 more. I don't even know.
You got anger issues and you need some donuts in your lives.
What's funny is how the whole thing was about him kicking the car, and then he goes and he kicks the door open.
He probably denied it, like, I don't do that.
Like, I don't kick stuff. And the next thing you know, he's kicking stuff. It's like, well, you seem a little guilty now, don't you?
By the way, that judge, I loved watching her growing up. Her, Judge Judy, Judge Matheson.
Judy.
What was her name? I forget.
Mathis.
No, Mathis is
it's like Marlon
Matheson
Maryland.
is the guy. Is that?
I don't know.
I don't know my judges. I'm out in the public. I arrest them.
Because now I'm really buying that he kicked your car and kicked your door. Because he just get the heck out of my courtroom now. Out!
I told you.
Did he try to come back in?
Yeah.
It's like, wait.
I bet he was
$200.
Yeah, he was gonna come back in and
I'm
be
gonna
like,
go defend that.
I just had a leg spasm. I really didn't mean for that to happen.
My leg did it again.
And at number 2, we have Van Terry. Van Terry is the father of Sherelda Terry, who sadly lost her life to Cleveland serial killer Michael Madison. During Michael's trial, Van Terry got up in front of the courtroom to give a victim impact statement. When out of nowhere, he turns and lunges over at Michael and tries to attack him. Apparently, when Terry looked back at Michael, he was giving him this like malicious smile, just taunting him. And that's what caused Terry to lash out on him. I mean, this guy took away his daughter from him. I'd want him to suffer in some way too. But sheriffs were quick to swarm Terry and get Michael away from him. He was then dragged out of the courtroom and escorted outside of the courthouse. But this just breaks my heart. But also, did you see how he flew over that desk? Like, that's super impressive. He drove straight over that thing, and you could see Michael smirking away. Like, you know he purposely wanted to set off Terry.
And finally, coming in at number 1, we have this.
You gotta remember the 100 lies that you told to cover that lie up.
That wasn't no lie.
Be quiet and don't talk in my courtroom.
I'm innocent.
Be quiet. Take him back.
That's right.
Take him out. Take him out now. No. Yeah. Take him out. I'm innocent.
Oh, wrong move. Duh. Don't swear at her.
I'm innocent. I don't think she cares at this
I
point.
don't think she cares. But also, I love her little like sassy attitude at the beginning.
Yo, you do not want to like upset some people in life. I think this is one of them.
Especially her.
She's that mad, and your life is in her hands.
Yeah.
Or in the gavel thing. 20 years. And then what do you say, like, the judge?
Yeah, he swore at her after. She's like, get out. Wrong move.
I'd be like, I'm so sorry for everything. Here's a Boston cream donut.
I don't know if judges like donuts. Please have to.
Piss them off even more.